second date. Yo!
I'm glad you did.
Go with a smile.
There it is, inside the room here. Just as I was told the case is going to be there in MK Ultra, I just came home from walking. Yeah, you can see me in a gear. I returned back from walk. I still have a light flashing. See the backpack, and there it is. The obituary of my sister, just as I was told the case is going to be. I present you. Ta-da! La 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 la. Ta-da-da, 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 ta-da-da. There you go. A room which my mother always was using, with exception in 2016 briefly when I moved inside. I think it was 16. And voila. You know how idiotic I feel about this stuff? It's impossible to even tell. The grinder is right there, just as I was told the case is gonna be right there. The grinder. She was doing really schizophrenic stuff to me during MK Ultra. She had a really sick scenarios. The grinder is what I'm grinding people's life, destroying lives and stuff like that. There is a curtain right there, la 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 la. A lunacy that my mama also used during MK Ultra, and voila. We have some windows here. And there is a très magnifique picture. She put a little bit snow on the top of it, so it's snowy nice. And then there is a picture of my sister, which also she demonstrated me. She's going to be using for her obituary, for her and now basically that's how that's going to be. And of course there is a candle. My mama loves candles. The candles are the thing. That's all the fuck I was watching since 2020. It was shuk candles every fucking everywhere. Yeah, there you go. La 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 la. I think I did quite idiotic right now, this whole thing, and I like it. I like it this way because this is so idiotic that it's impossible to tell. It's impossible to tell this idiotism. But this is the way they want it, and that's the way they have it. There is even a bigger candle, and then there is another candle today here. Sharaboom, sharaboom, sharaboom. I know, it sounds idiotic. A little bit snow. Very, very beautiful. It's like this. This was Alfa Romeo from my sister before he got married. It did not work out, and then he decided he will get married to another lady. But this was Romeo from my sister, Gregor Golobic. left hand from Milan Kuchan, left one, only left one. The younger generation. Borut Pahor, I think, did shortly with her too. But this here, this was literally the Alfa Romeo from my sister Biserka Auser. Everybody knew about this stuff. Everybody. And it was no good. It was a trouble for him. My sister told me like this. They have several different scenarios during MK Ultra for this kind of stuff. One of the scenarios stated, well, they're gonna give her a fake death certificate. The second one, if I would post this stuff beforehand, it would be okay. But if I would not post this stuff online beforehand, she would get a death certificate. If I would post this stuff once she would get a death certificate, it was my niece, not only sister, that cried. They would come for my sister to really get rid of her. So it's very difficult, extremely difficult for me to know really what the fuck is going on. My sister and myself, we haven't seen each other since probably 2021 or maybe even 2020. She doesn't come here. We don't keep in touch. We have a weird relationship. We had a real relationship, as weird as anyone possibly could ever have. It all started with her husband, Golob Brane, who was so fucking weird that it was just unbelievable. I mean, he was into, I will never come for a visit. He was very toxic. Today I know that he was toxic in coordinates with the psychiatry. He would not himself in a father. He would finally not see himself in me. He was a really weird guy. This is the kind of guy that I don't want to get into it. I think I was, during the video, I was enough clear about it. When I was 11 or 12 years old, my sister appeared at home with a blue under eyes. She was visibly abused, beaten up, and that's something I never would allow on my sister. And so I lost it. So then he really didn't have to worry about whether he comes here anymore or not. 12 years, I was 12 years, maybe even 13 years. I told my sister, you come home with my niece. Don't go there no more, and so on. And she did, and separated from this toxic animal, built herself a house out of the Novo Mesto, Draganja Sela it's called, gave him her part. She worked inside of the factory. She was a financial engine of this family. He spent even time without a job. He was doing work at home, whatever it would be. Gradbeni technic, I don't know, a technician for structure technician, I don't know. construction technician, let's just say, construction technician. She left him absolutely everything. A daughter grew up, so once the daughter grew up, she left absolutely everything and went on her own, or rather that she would come home here. She didn't have to give a cent here for anything, but this was her choice. This is the way she wanted, and I really wanted her at home because I wanted somebody younger at home I could affiliate with age-wise. Nobody more than my sister, but this was just not in her interest. So this here, this is the guy, and everything I stated to you in the video below in the room, that's exactly the way it was, and that's exactly the way it is. I have no reason, I have no ground for seeing myself in anything else that I stated. This is it. These are the uncles together. You can see Milan Kuchan, and just as I told you, I was at this one, a left hand of Milan Kuchan. The right hand of Milan Kuchan, that's a Robert Golob. That's this uncle here. This one. And he's got the same last name. That's interesting because he's got the same last name as the ex-husband from my sister. He was not husband. He did not even marry my sister. He only had a daughter and house and everything with her and car and so on. This is the weirdest fucking people one could possibly come across. The weirdest fucking people. The weirdest shit ever. Truly, truly, truly the weirdest stuff you possibly could come across. So this is completely, I don't know how to say, idle story of Milan Kuchan, but I don't think where he's gonna push this candle. What is he gonna do? These people, what are they gonna do? Because you can't hide this stuff anymore. So what the fuck you gonna do? I mean, there is nowhere to even run these days. Mednarodna tiralica, you know, police is everywhere. Police even works together. Once you have the arrest warrant issue at whatever country, including Serbia and wherever you want to go, Russia, whatever, you're gonna have to deliver yourself at the court. This is bizarre. A communist. It's a communist, Milan Kuchan. That's what he claimed. He was a communist. Bizarre. Totally bizarre stuff. This. Milan Kuchan Junge. This here. There is a Golubic right there. Next to Borut Pahor. Right there. That's that, basically. This. This is what we are talking about. This was a boyfriend from my sister, and he gave her an order. He asked her to disappear from the stage, together with the Borut Pahor, with the Tanja Fajon, with Robert Golob, etc., etc. The so-called Slovenian communists wanted her to disappear from the stage. This here is what happened. This here, this stuff, this here is what happened. This. Now you have Katarina Kresal in the background, Drnošek, Danilo Turk,
Danilo Turk was a big man. This had the biggest impact on a psychiatric hospital together with the board power. These are the people who placed me inside of the psychiatric hospital for Milan Kuchan. Jokers. How funny. Where are these clowns now? They were clowns. These clowns were all over this house. They were all over the place. Where are they hiding now? Anybody see them anywhere?
Sister of mine, Biserka Auser, discussed with Gregor Golobic the issue of disappearance from the picture during MK Ultra in our house, because everybody knew about this stuff. She used to date him, and so there was a sexual relationship between Gregor Golobic and my sister. Is this like close enough with an individual who had everything to do also with my psychiatric hospitalization in 2012? I think that's very, very close, right? And was meeting with my mother during MK Ultra inside of the home for elderly people, where they would deliver me for her, for me to see how they were visiting father, and was the one who also told me that she won't be visible no more. She will be, however, meeting my mother only whenever there will be a special opportunity that would open for her. Robert Golob personally stated, might even disvalidate fake death certificate if he will see that she was involved in something gross violations against me. He stated this, that he might even have to think about that stuff during MK Ultra. They were discussing these issues, not only inside of our house, but it happened, I observed and discussed these issues, even at home for elderly people. So this is why, you know, shalaboom, shitty-bam. I don't even know, for me to say, declare this stuff, I'm not even certain what exactly happened. Is she really dead? Is she faking it? This is how far their lunacy have gone. This is how far their lunacy have gone. I have absolutely no compassion for her. She was the one. She demanded from my parents to let me fail grammar school. She was the one who demanded from my parents to fail me high school. She was the one who demanded from my parents to not even take me back inside of the home. But unfortunately for her, there is a law that if you are a son or a daughter and you have no place to go, you do have the right to home residence. She was the one who demanded from my parents to dump me inside of the psychiatric hospital and to destroy me. Demanded from my parents to charge me money when I was forcefully jobless. She was the one who demanded from me to compare myself with the Gregor Golobic, Tanya Fajon, Milan Kuchan, Borut Pahor, Robert Golob, and all this scum that was coming in here to torture, to kill me. She was the one who claimed that she will make decision, compare me, and I was the one who was 11 years old, and I death threatened to her husband because he was abusing her. Inside of the living room area where she came beaten up at our home, back at our home, I told her, pick up my niece, Urshka Golob Weber, and come home right now, because I don't want you to see this piece of shit ever again. And I came in his face when I was 11 years old, 12 years old, maybe. I told him I'm going to beat the fuck out of him, and he knew that I mean business. This was I, this was she, She didn't come home because she didn't want to be here. She didn't want to be part of this stuff. She wanted me to be cut from society, from everyone. She was the one who bought me cakes and watches and give me money for the birthdays. She was the one. But the stuff that I spoke to you about, that completely outweighed everything. Knowing that I was in no fucking situation to survive this stuff. So this was my sister. This is my sister. But this is who she was and this is who she is. I 100% am certain she is well and alive based on MKUltra stuff that I have gone through. I have no reason whatsoever to believe that she's actually dead.
It was about 38 degrees outside, and I was wearing nothing but panties and plastic.
Wrapped in plastic.
It all came to life with a simple death, a corpse by the side of the river.
Laura Palmer.
But the TV series quickly twisted, turned, and was canceled, leaving the world to ask, what really happened to Laura Palmer anyway?
Even a year after the show's been off the air, we're still talking about it. We're still trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
I'm not kidding around.
But now Twin Peaks is a majorly strange motion picture called Fire Walk With Me that actually traces the events leading up to where the series began. Fans couldn't be happier.
I will get you with my death bag.
Recently, death-obsessed Peaks freaks from Tupelo to Tokyo converged on their own little twisted mecca of Snoqualmie and North Bend, where of course much of the series and movie were filmed.
I will kill again.
Yeah, I'm from California.
Is this normal?
I know the name of the song is actually, the theme song is actually called Falling. Did you know that?
Okay, forget normal. Is it healthy?
It's kind of nutty.
What is it that drives these people?
I don't know. I think it has to do with a lot of things. I think the whole thing with Laura is there's a natural fascination about death.
Death, death, death. That seems to say it all. Everywhere you look, fans are threatening you with death, savoring their favorite death scenes.
Probably the murder of Maddie. It was intense for the TV, I think.
Even playing dead. You're not saying anything.
I'm dead.
But I guess as long as fans are this excited about all things dead, Twin Peaks phenomenon will stay very much alive.
That's what fans are for.
I personally think this is related to this post here that relates to my father. There is a clear signs of psychological as well as physical abuse on my father. Something I have to put into the form, in the video form, and it's not so easy because it went for some time now. So I'm gathering the proofs about that stuff. Well, he is in a really bad situation, laying down on bed. Based on MKUltra, they have several exit features for him already. He, based on MKUltra scenario, shouldn't even be on the picture anymore. Let me explain. They make the exit point for sure, and then they continue and they make another exit point for sure, and another exit point. Therefore, they announced death. He's dead already, based on MKUltra scenario on several occasions. And it just goes as far as they are not capable to rationalize, to put it in plain and simple. Nobody was visiting him. He didn't get any kind of exercise and this and that. Nobody was taking him.
Nobody was caring for him, you know what I mean? So as long as this stuff goes on, it's very difficult for these people to just say, oh, you know, oh, well, you know, by the way, you did not even visit him, and so on and so forth. Especially when you point with finger at employees of Home for Elderly People, not only the police, which was involved in this stuff. It makes things a little bit more difficult. So this is related to this stuff because it's taking time away from me for this here. And this is precious to me because, well, because of my life. Simple as this. I have to move on with my life. I have to get my father out of there so he can have something out of life. And I have to move with my life. And so I'm not going to say thanks to corruption, because this isn't even explainable. The stuff I got in return for stopping at a police station in Novo Mesto when Miran Sudin, the state prosecutor, a special police officer, Ministry of Interior employee who was present inside of our house, every crime that took place, not all the time, but whatever was that was to be outlined so that he understood about the progress of crime against me, he always was present because they rehearsed crime. Crime would not take one time, whatever setup they were making, plots, they would rehearse them, they would repeat them, in other words. So he would take time to show his presence during whenever was something major to outline the setup, the crime, so that he would understand exactly the technology. He's an investigator. He's a police officer investigator on how it was done, on what was expected of him to see the outcome of the crime is from his perspective, so that he could rationalize to publicly, so he could defend Slovenian state, defend Slovenian parliament from any criminal liabilities that could derive from crimes enforced against me by the police. This here, very, very important. Miran Sudin and I started the video with what you see here. Psychiatrist Kapsch laughing, just like this. I know that psychiatrist Kapsch is excited about this, but he shouldn't be. This was in 2009 here in Novo Mesto. You see the rope around in the background? This man demanded from me to see Juanes. He demanded a suicide from me. And this stuff was not done in 2019, what I'm talking to you about. In the presence of Sudin, in the presence of Stefanic, in the presence of Janez Ogulin, ex-director Novo Mesto Police, Igor Juršić, investigators, this man demanded from me to see the rope. He demanded from me to see what you don't see here, but it's people in the background. I do this. He demanded from me to see the people in the background as a mental patients in 2014. However, what I took excerpt from is from 2019 in Prečna. Let me be clear about his schizophrenia case. Paranoid schizophrenia is what they labeled me with in 2012. But this is just, of course, another extremely serious crime he committed together with the Miran Sudin, which was known, demanded for me to acknowledge by Milan Kučan, his deputy, Robert Golob, now Prime Minister of Slovenia. Talking about the Miran Sudin, therefore this special investigator who met me on October the 30th at Novo Mesto police station and sent me to the psychiatric hospital. He demanded from me to see Miran Sudin as a police officer and as a psychiatrist too. And make no mistake, Miran Sudin have written on his report about the meeting on October the 30th, 2024 at Novo Mesto police station that I was lying without even understanding the liabilities for lying. That means he alone classified me on a paper which afterwards arrived to me at home once I have complained further against him and against Novo Mesto police station to Ministry of Interior as insane. A psychiatrist and as a police officer. As a matter of fact, a special police officer, psychiatrist from Milan Kuchan deputy Robert Golob. I personally think these people are so dead. Nobody was as dead as these people yet. Walking dead. If anybody thinks that this is going to come out, you're crazy. That's the only thing I have to say to you. This thing already did came out. Psychiatrist Kopch also was the one who demanded from me to video record the stuff. However, on opportunity, psychiatrist Peter Kopch demanded from me to play with a video, to roll one back, to roll one forward. My witness to this crime was Princess Biserka Abba, who was present also here. It was Illuminatis that were present here. Okay, there was plenty of Americans, all kinds of Illuminatis that were here, and they demanded from me to use his laughter to my advantage and roll one back and roll one forward to present one to the public as insane as possible. I figure out that's not necessary. It's just necessary to zoom into his face so the people can see evil inside of this head for what I have described on my blog. That's all that's necessary. It's not even necessary to modify anything. The original already was modified by the people who suggested me. Therefore, the people who had this video have video recorded this video, and they have hoped they will help the police to fuck me by doing exactly the procedure for which I have stated to you. He incited me together with the police to do it, to present him as insane as possible. When you record this cadre here, and I modify that, and you just take this away, the face that you see, okay, let me demonstrate to you how that looks like. As a matter of fact, because I did video recorded this stuff, why don't I demonstrate you how that looked like, so that you get an idea about precisely how that looked like, the original, when you record this stuff. So you see the row behind him, I'm sure you can see that. This is what he demanded from me to see myself in. Interrogating me right here in the kitchen, right here in the house, in this kitchen, about who this guy is. And he demanded from me in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, till he video recorded this in 2019, to see myself, to see this guy in myself, to see this guy as myself, as mentally ill patient. This guy was involved in MK Ultra and he got to meet me. However, I have clearly seen that on the side, he was taking advantage against me by conversing with the police. So this guy here, right here that you see, was hired by the police. He demanded from me to put him on a picture. He knows about the police. He knows about me. He was inside of this house. Is that bad enough? How police engineer this stuff? How they do it? Just like this. That's how that stuff is done. Now there is a very, very important issue I have not demonstrated you, because there is no way you can see one from the point of view, from the perspective I depicted you right now, that psychiatrist Peter Kapsch also demanded from me to see. So the people who demanded from me this video, these are the people from Krka. Let me demonstrate you who these people are. This is called the Radio Krka. These are professional journalists. You're gonna get some invitation to the police, guys. Psychiatrist Peter Kapsch, next to the rope that you see, demanded from me to see myself in this window here. He demanded from me to see in a prison, a jail, a cell, basically. This is where I am heading, either to the jail, to the prison is what he demanded is, or the rope you see right there. So just a little bit for the entry to this video. That's why I stated these are dead walking people, these police officers, together with these psychiatrists and these politicians. If you place bet on these people, you waste your hope, you waste your bet, because I guarantee you, for what I stated you, this guy is not going to get 1 life sentence. This guy is going to get 10, 100 life sentences. This guy is going to get 100, not 10 life sentences. 10 life sentences is going to get Stefanic from Novo Mesto police station. 100 is going to get Miran Sodin and this guy here that you see. See that? Now he also understands and he knows how this stuff is done from my perspective, from Auser Times police perspective.